Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, leaving the royal family and the word of the day. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
It's been a long time since we recorded last. It's been a few weeks, actually. We've been away. If you have seen any of our vlogs, you'll know why. We haven't been able to be here, but spending a lot of time in urgent care and in the hospital.
Yeah.
April is doing much better, and as you can see, has a new hairdo and everything because she can't really do her hair.
Can't use my hand to do my hair,
right.
But, you know.
Well, this has been good. I mean, good in a lot of ways, I think, because we've been spending a lot more time together, obviously.
True.
You got an extra week off, even though it was like a week full of pain. It was a week off still.
It wasn't the kind of week that I'd like to have, but, it is what it is.
Right, that's true. But how are you feeling now? I mean,
I'm good.
You're back to work?
I am back to work, but I'd like to be independent again.
Yeah.
It's like having to ask for something as simple as, could you open this water bottle?
Right, that's true.
Could you put the toothpaste on my toothbrush? Right. Little things like that.
Can you wash my arm?
Can you wash my back?
Yeah. I don't mind either of those things.
But I'd like to do it myself.
So what do you think the most surprising thing has been so far to that? Like something you maybe weren't expecting about this particular situation that you're finding out now?
To be honest with you, I really appreciate my thumb, my opposing thumbs.
Yeah. Having opposable thumbs is something we take for granted, I think.
No, we do.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize how much I need it and the things I can't do without it. I mean, it was pretty enlightening.
So, like, right now, tell me, like, two things you can't do like you used to be able to do since you only have one. You know what, to be honest with you, I think right now, it just seems to me that it's a bigger deal that one of your hands is pretty much wrapped up, as opposed to the fact that you can't use that thumb.
See, it's not even that. It looks like, she has the other 4 fingers. She could do stuff. But when I use these, it hurts the thumb. I mean, because all these nerves and things are connected.
Right.
So it's like, I really can't. So pulling up my pants, just something that simple, hurts.
Right. Yeah.
So I really can't do that.
Right.
So that, like I said, open a water bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, typing hurts. So I can't type.
I didn't know typing
even
hurt.
with the other 4, it hurts to just continue to do that. After a while, the pain, man. So
you're already a one-hand texter, so it's not like you're using.
No, texting is not an issue.
Yeah, you only use one thumb anyway for that, right?
But I don't know. It's just I don't know. Even when I have had it where I hold my cell phone like this.
What, in that hand?
In that hand, and it hurts. I can't even do that.
Oh man!
Like after a while, it hurts.
So sorry, babe.
So yeah. So I appreciate that thumb.
Yeah. You know what the most surprising thing to me has been?
What?
I'm actually surprised at how much I like your hair like that.
Really?
Yeah. You've never had braids in your life.
No, I've never had braids.
I mean, I've never seen you in our entire marriage with any kind of braids.
No.
Ever.
I mean, even as a kid, I didn't have cornrows or anything.
Right. Which
I don't understand why.
I don't
did
get
not,
that either.
But I didn't.
Either way, I actually like that. It looks very becoming.
The only thing I would say, like, I love not having to do my hair.
Right. I like that too. We were on time for church like nobody's business this last week.
We were. I was like, wow, it's because of my hair.
Right.
But I can't take the weight of hair. It
does look heavy.
My neck has not hurt this bad in a long time. Like the last time my neck hurt like this was after a car accident.
Right.
So, I'm like this now. I'm like, ooh, it's only been 2 weeks, but.
Has it been a full 2 weeks yet?
Yeah.
Since you've had that?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh, it was yesterday.
Yesterday
Okay.
was 2 weeks.
You're right. Wow.
So I'm going to try to go till Friday, but I'm tempted to.
We've been away for a while, haven't we? I mean, it's been a while since we recorded. I mean, it's been at least 2 weeks, probably 3.
It's been a while.
Because we've posted a video. The last one we did was on feeling stuck, but we actually recorded that
2 weeks before.
Yeah. So I think it's been a month since we recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot has happened since then.
It has.
Actually, the thing we want to talk about today is something that happened while we've been away. We haven't been able to talk about it. I think had we been able to, we probably would have done a kitchen table on it or something. But while we were gone, the royal family, 2 of them, decided to leave. Mm-hmm. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have left the royal family to do their own thing.
Well, they'll officially leave, I think, in the spring.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, they've announced it.
Right.
We all know they're leaving, and they've been talking about it for a while now.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's good.
Now, hold on. Let me go back. Let me ask you a totally different question.
Okay.
All right. You're not royalty, but if you were, do you think you would
I
ever
am
leave?
royalty.
Okay, well, I know you're related to the Most High God and all that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, that's not what I mean. I mean,
Hallelujah.
you're not like, regular royalty, like human being royalty.
Right,
but if you were,
okay.
do you think that you would ever want to leave your royal station to just do regular life? Like, do you think that would be something on your, I don't know. I mean, would you even think about that?
Well, I would say that it's hard to leave what you're used to.
I agree.
Period.
Right.
So just, even in your own home, if you're in a home that you like,
right.
Okay, let's say that,
right.
You're in a good situation,
right.
It's hard to leave it because that's what you're used to. That's what you've been doing since you were little.
Mm-hmm.
And so to go away from that, that's a hard thing. So I don't know if I would be so quick to just be like, I'm out.
Right.
I know it, like for us getting married, let's say,
right.
moving away, far away, that was difficult.
It was.
Knowing that we were going to be that far away from family.
Right.
It was difficult to think about that. And I was sad when we left at first.
So sort of sounds like you're saying that the fact that there's a family aspect to this may make it even more difficult. So I just asked you if you would leave being royalty, but leaving that means leaving your family.
Well, that's true. But let's go back. You're right. Yeah, let me focus on the royalty part because, getting looked after constantly since you were a baby.
Yes, having that kind of money.
People putting your clothes on for you.
Right, dressing you and undressing you.
Making your clothes to fit you perfectly.
Right, you never have to cook a day in
You
your
don't
life.
have to cook anything. You don't even have to think about what you're going to do.
You get to do things like sit in the drawing room and just drink.
You can do whatever you want.
Right.
You can just chill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
I'm not saying that's what they always do, but I'm just saying.
That's what it seems like.
But you can do whatever. You can go play a sport you want to play.
Right.
You can go and,
certain sports.
Certain sports.
Has to be duck hunting
and,
has to be equestrian and things like that.
But that's the ones you know.
Right. That's true.
You're not going to go, necessarily.
Play basketball.
But, right.
That's true.
Right. You're not going to do that,
right.
But okay, so those things, I think that makes it harder.
And you can get used to that, is what you're saying.
Hey, but if that's what you're used to,
right.
You could say, I wonder how it would be if I didn't have all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You could be that kind of person.
Right.
Or you could be one that says, man, I can't give this up. There's no way I can go and be driving my own car.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But if you are Prince Harry, who was related to Diana.
Right.
Come on.
Maybe
she was one that didn't, necessarily, not that she didn't like all that, but she wasn't about all that.
Right.
So it's in him to kind of want to go out and be with the people.
Right.
Yeah,
that's probably true. Okay, so, all right. So basically, this is the kind of decision or situation that sounds like, at least on the surface, a regular person might not be able to associate with. Mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that when you look a little bit deeper, these people are human beings.
Right.
And what they're going through is, I think, a regular human response that most people have in certain situations. I would say that Harry and Meghan are probably dealing with something totally different that I think most couples deal with, and I think we even dealt with.
Okay.
And that is, sometimes you just want to do your own thing.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to have to do it the way the family does it.
Right.
You don't want to have to do things at this time, or you just want your independence. And it feels like part of the reason why I loved marrying you is that we got to do our own thing, be our own people. But there were certain aspects of life, at least early on, that were still kind of like, there were some things that were expected from us, and we had to do them a certain way because of our upbringing, what we did for a living, stuff like that.
Right.
And so it felt nice when we left in, I guess it was 2002. We'd been married 2 years by then. Mm-hmm. We left in 2002, and we went from, I guess we were living in Georgia at the time, and moved all the way up to Michigan so that we could go back to school. I went to seminary. April went and got her master's in teaching. And when we went there, I think, at least for me, something happened that I was not expecting. There was this way of living that we had been doing all that time that I didn't know we were doing until we left and went to the seminary. And that is, I felt like we were living sort of like kind of doing whatever because we knew we had this safety net of our parents who were both within a couple hours drive, who were stable and had finances and things that they could do to help and all that kind of stuff. I never felt like we were really on our own until we left to go to seminary. That's when I felt for the first time, this is just me and you. And something happened during those years that was like, I don't know, man. I felt like we gelled in a way. We became John and April.
Yeah, we were establishing our own family.
Yes.
Or our own,
traditions.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, this is the way we're going to do it.
Right.
And I like this.
Another thing that was nice about it is we didn't have kids yet.
That's
and
true.
I think not having kids made it felt like we were single married people.
Right. Yeah. It was so good. And it was like,
we were married but no kids. It was like you're single but with
back
each other.
In college.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that was
great.
Lovely.
I would love to redo that. It was so much fun, man.
That was so much fun.
That was like some of the best time of our lives.
It was because you're married, but you're kind of like in college,
and you're free.
Yeah,
you just get up and do something anytime.
And we had no bills like that.
Right,
I mean, it was like you're staying on campus.
We didn't make no money at the time.
We didn't
but
make any money, but it was okay because nobody was making any money.
That's true.
So you're all
right. Everybody was poor.
Everybody was poor. It was fun.
Yeah.
But I think if you think about it, I'm going to go back to Meghan and Harry.
Okay.
Meghan had to leave her comfort zone to go to
do what he was doing.
I mean, that's huge.
That's true. Because I
think going into royalty is harder than to coming out of it.
You may be right.
I mean, the only reason why I say that is because when you come out, you still have this status that you are up here.
So people will still relate to you like you are royalty.
He's gonna come over here or Canada or whatever, and he's going to still be the prince to us.
People are probably still gonna be wanting his autograph.
I mean, of course.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be like Prince Harry.
Right.
He'll
be able to get in whatever restaurant he wants to.
He's
all
going
that
to be royal here.
Right. Right.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But her going there, it's like, who is this? And she black. I'm just saying.
You right.
Who is this black girl
right.
from wherever?
Right.
Coming here. I don't remember where
from the U.S. I mean, it doesn't matter which specific state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How are you going to come here and now you have to learn how to be?
Right.
You can't just grab the bread off the plate.
That's right.
I mean, you just can't do that.
That was an inside joke that nobody knows, but that was good, man.
Yeah, it was good. I grabbed the bread off the plate. So
you got to use the right fork.
I was not royal,
right.
In this particular situation. I just grabbed the bread, and I was very embarrassed. But anyway.
You should have been. Nobody even knew.
Yes, they did.
Maybe.
The guy I grabbed the bread from grabbed the plate back and
like,
looked at me like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do. Anyway, she was grabbing the bread off the plate, maybe.
Right. Maybe not, because she probably went through intense training beforehand.
Well, maybe, but I'm saying you forget you're living with them. You're gonna do what you do. You're gonna be you.
Right.
So
I definitely think, from all accounts, she was not fully accepted.
Of course not. The media there scrutinized her.
Right.
I mean, terribly.
Right.
I mean, even Prince Harry talks about how he's trying to protect her from what his mom went through because they did that to her.
Yeah, yeah. The media sort of assaulted Princess Diana.
They did, and he blames them for her death and all that stuff.
That may have a lot to do with why he wants to leave. Actually,
well, I think it does. I think he's trying to say, I'm not going to take this again.
Right.
You're doing this again to my wife now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think that's a part of it.
Right.
I do.
It could be.
But I think that are the family members, is the royal family saying, don't talk about our new daughter like this?
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Good point.
So I think
you mean are they sticking up for her?
That's what I'm saying.
And if the answer
are they
is no,
speaking out saying you guys need to stop this?
Right.
Or is it, well, this is what you guys...
This is kind of what happens when you marry outside the royal family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he's like, wow, we need to get out of this.
Right.
I don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall to know whether if she was like, okay, I can't take this anymore. I'm out. Are you coming? Or if he's like, babe, we got to get out of here. I don't want you in this. Let's talk about, or together just wanting to, I don't know. But them leaving, I think, we can look at it as a good thing because they're deciding we love each other and we're not going to allow all of this tradition and the way it, supposed to be, keep us from living a life where we can love each other, raise our kid the way that we want to raise him.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's deep.
It is. It is.
I
actually feel like if that's what's behind this, then for me, this is a positive thing. And like I said, we've gone through this already, so we know. I feel like the most important thing when you get married is being able to establish your new home the way you want to.
Right.
And not feeling the outside pressure of having to do it any particular way.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of maybe holy ground for married couples. Mm-hmm. You get together and you want to be able to do your own thing,
And you have the pressures of family members.
You do.
Your parents or grandparents or whoever.
Right.
Like, oh, you guys are going to live there?
Right.
Why would you move away? Or you're raising your kids that way. Right. Or, you're not going to work at these jobs.
Right. So here's the thing that I'm saying, though, and this is the thing that I thought was most remarkable, as I think back on our lives and when we left to go to the seminary. Michigan is a 9-hour drive from Atlanta. So it wasn't like we were close.
Right.
All right. The thing that surprised me the most, the thing that most people would think was the benefit, is that our parents were no longer able to be all in our faces and influence what was going on in our lives. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the most impactful part of it for me.
Okay.
It was actually internal and personal. Mm-hmm. It was that I, for the first time, I think, left my upbringing in my mind. It's like all that time I had been operating in our home without our parents even being around. I had been operating under the auspices of their rules and their way of doing things.
Right.
I was,
which is only natural.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of the conflicts we had early on was in us trying to sort of uphold our upbringings and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think we were both, I don't know if I was scared to, but maybe so. I think I might have been scared to really leave my upbringing behind in order to establish something new.
Right.
And when I say leave it, I don't mean like shun it or turn my back on it, or because most of the stuff that my parents taught me, I thought were positive and helpful and impactful. And many of those things we're using now to raise our own children.
Exactly.
So that's not what I mean. I simply mean I wasn't able to have the freedom to think for myself. It's like I didn't allow myself to think for myself.
Right.
Do I actually like this? Do I want to do it this way?
Right.
And when we left and went away, that physical proximity, that distance, the fact that we weren't right on top of each other anymore, made me feel less guilty.
Right.
Because no one could walk in on us from our family and find out we're doing it differently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so here's a question I have for you. What if Megan wanted to leave and Harry didn't?
Ooh.
And the reason why I ask that is because there are many relationships where one does want to be independent together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Let's strike out together. Let's do this thing on our own. Yes. Let's try to really make sure this is our thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But another person might not want to do that in the relationship.
So let's say, you wanted to leave and go.
Yeah.
But I was like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I don't want to. I mean, that is what
That's
happened.
exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
That is what happened. I didn't initially. But
so let's tell that story. So Bron Jacobs, my close friend in ministry, calls me one day and says, "Yo, we need to go to the seminary." Now Bron's pastoring in Atlanta, I'm pastoring in Milledgeville, Georgia, and Bron's saying, "Let's go. Let's just do this thing." He was like, "We got to go get our master's degree. Let's make this happen." And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. April overhears the conversation in the other room, and she's like praying, Lord God, please do not allow John to be wanting to leave here.
I didn't want to leave my family.
I really want to leave either because I was very comfortable. We had just bought our first house.
Now let's go back. Megan and Harry probably didn't want to leave initially.
They may not have.
And what I mean by that is just the idea of all the stuff, because this is like a scandal. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
it's the talk of everyone. I mean, I'm sure they don't want every single news outlet of the world talking about them like this.
Right. They could see it as maybe not a scandal, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's getting scandal level coverage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So initially, I'm sure they're like, we can't do this. There's no way.
Right.
And that's what I thought. Like, we can't move. We just got it. It's only been 2 years.
Right.
We're right here by the family. Why would we do that?
Right.
We have a new house. We bought a house.
Right.
We had, and so it's like, that was what was on my mind.
Yes.
Which I think happens with couples. It's like, wow, I'm going to leave?
Right.
What I know?
Right.
Because really, that's what I was thinking.
To go to the unknown.
To go to the unknown. Why would we go up there and we don't have to?
Right.
We weren't asked to leave.
No.
We weren't told to leave.
Right.
So it's like, why would we choose to leave?
Right.
When we're comfortable?
Right.
That's really
that's true.
What the issue was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But then, I was impressed that we needed to go.
I was too.
And you were too. So we left.
Yes.
And when we left, I was still having a hard time.
At first you were.
At first, because again, this was new.
Right.
And we hadn't been independent as a couple.
That's true.
It's funny because you think you are.
Right. Right. And that was my point. I didn't know we weren't until we left.
Yes.
Then there was a feeling there like, whoa, we don't have no safety net. Oh, shoot.
Exactly.
We haven't really been independent all this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was nice to discover and then realize, okay.
Yes.
It
was.
So back to the question, though. I'm going to go back to the question.
Back to the question.
Without talking about the fact that we know that I didn't want to go at first, whatever.
Right. We got that. Yeah.
But what about a couple where one does want to leave and the other one doesn't?
Right.
When it needs to happen in order for them to establish their own.
Yes. Let me say, first of all, that very rarely, when it comes to big decisions, are both entities in the couple going to agree right away.
True.
It's almost always going to be one of them feeling one way and the other one feeling the other way. I think, first of all, that you may get there, but I think it definitely needs to be a joint decision if it's going to happen. I don't think one person should force the other one to do it. And if one is ready now, if you feel like that's the right decision, as you talk through it, as you keep on praying about it and thinking about it and looking at the pros and cons and weighing the good and bad and all that kind of stuff, I think what's going to happen is the other person will eventually come to their senses and it will make sense and you will decide to do it. But I definitely don't think it's a good idea for one person to force the issue and make it happen. Right. I think the other person is ultimately always going to be unhappy, feeling like they were coerced forced to do something, and that one thing is going to be negative.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope that didn't happen.
I was just about to say, I really hope, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm really hoping that Megan is not like, yo, I got to get out of here. I can't take it anymore. Right. And Harry's like, I mean, I love my wife. I mean, she's saying I got to get out. I got to go.
I better do it.
But I mean, I would think that she would care about the fact that he would be leaving. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. He can't even have his name anymore, his title. Right. He can't even wear certain military uniforms that he used to wear. Yeah. That's a lot.
He's giving up a lot.
He's giving up. He can't get paid anymore.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even have the security level.
Trying to figure out who's paying for security, right?
Yeah, and then they're trying to figure out, who's going to even pay for that? Right. You might not be getting it at all, buddy. Your only royalty here is what they're saying. Right, yeah. So even though I don't agree. I think he's royalty here too.
Right. Well, everybody's going to see him that way.
That's what I'm saying. That is what he's been known. I mean, we've known him since he was a baby. Right, that's true. Since he was born. You're right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right. You might not realize it, but you are royalty here. Right. Yeah. I mean, he does realize that. Right. I think that's why he's okay.
Probably. It's probably right.
I mean, they're saying have your own jobs. I mean, you would get paid millions to come and speak just out of graduation. Exactly. So you straight, bruh.
Right. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and I love her as an actress. She can just go back to doing that. I mean, and I'm sure she misses that too.
Probably.
But anyway, I do believe that it is important that you establish your own.
I do.
I think it's harder to do when you are around where you lived. I'm not saying that every time you get married, anybody who gets married has to leave. Right. But I do think you have to think about, is this something that we need in order to establish? Because sometimes I think people being around family or where they're from keeps them from being able to grow in certain situations because they might have more conflicts with the in-laws because they're so close. And you haven't given that distance to establish and be confident in your own relationship, then you can come back and say, oh no, this is the way we do it, and be confident in that. Right now you're doubting, oh man, you know, why is she coming or he's coming over here saying this or doing that? Well, maybe you need to understand that you need to be confident about you and your spouse's independence together.
Yeah.
So
so you're saying a couple really should look and see if maybe their relationship is being stifled by being close to home and close to family. Yeah. And if that's the case, you may want to consider moving away, going and doing your own thing. And it could be for a time. That's right. Yeah.
And then you can come back when you are secure, because it's all about being insecure in your new relationship, because you think maybe the other person is only listening to that. I mean, I've heard couples where it's like, when she's with me, or, you know, he's with me, we make decisions together, it's no problem. But as soon as the parent comes around, as soon as the sibling comes around, they change their mind. Yeah. Or they, you know,
we decided this together.
We talked about this. Why are you, you know?
Right.
So, and I mean, yes, that can be done over the phone as well, but I think it's more, I think it's more effective if, you know, people are face to face and they're there and they can see what you're doing and, you know, harder more influential, I would say.
That's
you
true.
know. There's more influence there.
Yeah. Well, either way, we wish Harry and Meghan the best.
I know. I don't know why I like them so much together.
They're nice. They seem like they're nice people.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I would love to hang with Meghan. That's my girl.
It'd be really bad if we met
Meghan's
them and found out they're both jerks.
That would be.
That would be horrible. Hopefully they're not.
I feel like I can hang with her.
I know. Seems cool.
Anyway.
All the best, and we hope that your life, your new life, starting this spring, ends up being amazing.
I know.
We shall see.
Yeah, I hope it's good for them. Now it's time for Word of the Day.
Word of the Day.
Hey, what's our word, babe?
Our word is strike out.
Oh.
And actually, this is not the strikeout we think of. This is the English definition of strikeout.
Okay,
we thought we'd do that.
Yes.
Made sense based on the subject matter.
That's right.
What does strikeout mean?
Okay, strikeout means to begin a new and independent activity.
Wow. So this is like you want to strike out on your own. Mm-hmm, that's what that means.
Mm-hmm. You want to strike out on your own.
Yeah. So I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're deciding to strike out, to do something brand new, to start a new independent activity where they're going to go and do their lives the way that they want to do their lives, and not with the constraints of the royal family and the royal title.
I really think they have to be, like any other parent would have to be thinking about the happiness or the upbringing of their child.
Right.
So I'm sure
that may have something to do with it.
I'm sure that has something to do with it too. They can't be making this decision just for themselves.
Right.
I mean, who would having children?
Right. That's true.
I think it's a whole thing.
So there are people out there right now listening to this podcast. You may need to strike out on your own.
Yeah.
It may be time to go ahead with your new spouse and say, you know what?
We got to go.
We're going to get away. We're going to do this thing on our own. We have got to find a way to do this so that we can have our own new family the way that we want it to be.
Right.
And then we can come back later on and we can keep in contact with people. We're not turning our back on them or anything like that.
You're not going to shun your family. But I think getting away.
Yeah.
And leaving can help.
Sometimes
it can help, you know.
I agree. I think sometimes you got to strike out and go out on your own and do that thing.
Sometimes you have to. And it's okay.
It is okay. That's the point.
It's okay. And I think that when you do that and you have established and you get comfortable and you are confident in your marriage and what you guys decide to do, you know, I mean, you come back and you can now be confident in that, and you will come across differently too.
Yeah.
You will you have a different relationship.
I agree. I actually think your relationship with your family can get better when you're confident in what you have and your established relationship with your spouse. So on the other side of this could actually be something better than what you have now.
True.
Anyway, hope that helps you.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Jess, John, and April.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell to be notified about our next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.